There you are. I got you.
Oh.
I think they had the.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, yes.
You are getting. Okay.
You're still transmitting.
On to Discord. There's Carlos.
Dave, I hear you. So you're trans.
Camera on.
Guessing. Yeah, my audio will seem to be working fine. I guess. Yeah. Thank you.
This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the OA machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that takes the airways with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We have a transmitter up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the frequencies we transmit and receive on, and also you'll find a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmission. However, you will need a tone of 103.5 to communicate with this net. Again, a tone of 103.5. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. I'll pause in case anybody wishes to make an emergency move, emergency transmission, or make a contact with anyone before our net gets totally underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Signed in by video link already is Ron, KD7QKU. K7ITX in Phoenix. W7ITL in Tacoma. Jim, N7QO. James, WU7N, Northeast Bellevue. And in Clyde Hill, Carlos, AD7NP. And in Lake City, myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else who would like to check into the net? Ron, let's go to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to use the radio.
So anyway, I'm on the radio and I'm
On the radio and I'm on the TV, I guess.
not
So,
feeding
not
back right now.
feeding back right now for me, so that's okay.
So,
Let's see.
we got our
We got our
Christmas tree up.
Christmas tree up.
Joanne's been working on it.
Joanne's been working on that.
We're a little behind
We're a little behind this year.
with Joanne, having the pacemaker put in and everything.
Having the pacemaker put in and everything, and
For a while.
had to take it easy for
So
a
let's
while.
see what else is going on.
So let's see
we
what
had
else
the
is going
windstorm
on.
last night.
Well, we had the windstorm.
Reportedly, they had 60-mile-an-hour winds in Tacoma. It was about, I think about
It was
5
about,
o'clock in the morning. I heard this noise.
I heard this noise.
Apparently, the wind blew a ladder down and was leaning against the house. And so I woke up and a cat jumped. The cat sleeps on her bed. She jumped on the floor and was running around, and I a boat, and I have a metal pipe frame.
And I have a metal pipe frame, and I have a tarp over it. And I was afraid the wind was going to destroy the tarp. It was really banging and flapping.
It was good. I couldn't see that it blew any roofing off. I walked all over, blew the neighbor's garbage cans over my driveway again. The recycling and yard waste cans, the big ones.
The big one.
So
So
she's a
she-
little rockery between our driveway stair, a couple of feet
Between
tall.
our driveway stair, a couple of feet tall, higher than we are, and so I had to pull the cans back up and put them in the driveway.
So
She's
that
not
was
home.
about it.
So that was about it.
Last couple of days,
The last couple of days, we had 2 point, yeah,
you can't see it.
2.28 inches of rain, so a little more than 2.25 inches of rain.
So anyway, more rain than we really need. It
You know,
really
really
poured
need.
down last night
It
about.
was really pouring down last night about
Okay,
5
I'll
o'clock.
just turn it back for now.
Okay, I'll just turn it back for now. Oh, Wade had me turn the power down. I was using a high power. I'm on medium power tonight. It seemed to be working fine.
Back to next.
So anyway, back to net KD7QKU.
7 QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard down in Arizona, K7ITX.
Okay, good. Well, it's sure great to see you guys tonight. And Ron, yeah, I heard about the windstorm and even had evidence of the windstorm on my remote control camera that is plugged into the power, the regular 110 volt power at my house, and it was not functioning. I had none of my internet communication with the house was functioning at about 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. I guess it went out about 5 a.m. is when it sounds like it struck. And my daughter's there, of course. That we also talked to her on the phone about it as well. But evidently everything's up and running again. No harm, no foul. As I had a really beautiful evening tonight, we broke a weather record, 81 degrees today, and gosh, I mean, you just could just sit in the shade and eat an ice cream cone, whatever you felt like, something like that. I ended up doing something we haven't done in over half a year. I went downtown with a t-shirt on. I drove downtown, of course. Drove down there. Drove downtown with a t-shirt on, and I went to a Thai restaurant and ordered chicken pot siu to go, and some spring rolls. And that was, but it was very pleasant. Oh man, I just have to pinch myself sometimes. So, and then, stand by. And then, the great news for me was being approved for surgery December 27th. Surgery for a catheter to be placed in my abdominal area so that I don't have to go to the clinic every day. I can do a lot of my treatments at home now. And that's just going to be a lot more relaxing and no fuss, no muss, not have to drive anywhere and be gone for half the day. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And that is the real road to recovery. Once I know how to handle those treatments myself and become kind of more or less a professional at it, and that's when we head home. So I'm pretty, but I can't think of a better place right now than Phoenix, Arizona to take care of all these issues, and I just got lucky for one of their better winners this year. So with that, K7ITX, back to net control.
to Wade, W7ATS.
All right, guys, I gotta switch my inputs. Turn my volume down so I don't have to hear myself talk. So part of this transmission, I'm going to go through the digital side of the system, and then so people that are not listening to our stream, they can hear me. So seems like the video is very stable tonight. Still some optimizations I think we need to make on some of the people's stations to make it more stable. Maybe antenna placement, maybe codec adjustments to the, not codec, but the DVB-T settings. So I'm going to transmit now on radio, and I'll just kind of do a short synopsis of what I just said. So, 'cause I don't know if everyone wants to hear that twice. So I'm going to transmit one more time.
Doing audio over the digital side, and it sounds pretty good, I guess. I think we got to figure out Ron's station to be able to mute his microphone when he's transmitting on the radio, so we don't have to hear his audio, and he doesn't have to hear himself twice. So it's a good net so far. So I'll turn it back to net control. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Now let's try Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Wade, we couldn't hear anything on the 2-meter machine. If you were talking, it sounds like something broke in there at the end. Anyway, so today I received my receiver, my decoder box. They tried to deliver it yesterday, but I wasn't around, so I had to go to the post office today to pick it up. And a couple of issues which someone can hopefully resolve. One, there's definitely no remote control unit in this package. This thing came with a CD, and I looked at it. It's a 54-page manual. They show how to use 3 different remote controls which may come with the unit, but I have none of them. And I tore apart all the packaging in the box, and there's nothing in here. I tried one remote, a universal remote control that I've got, and it doesn't seem to work. I guess I'll have to complain to the vendor and see if they can get one sent to me. The box lights up. It looks pretty. I see 2 zeros in there. And a red LED, but that's about it. And it's not even showing a menu on the display, so I don't know if it's normally supposed to pop up something when you first plug it in, or if you have to hit something. But at any rate, I hit every button on the remote, and it's not doing anything. So that's comment number 1. About the lack of a functional remote, which I have right now. I do have several remotes which I will attempt to make work, but otherwise, most likely Wade will come by my place and see if he can get the thing working. Question number 2, which someone might be able to address. On the back of the unit, it only says HV120. What I ordered was an HV120 1.2G, and the instructions elaborate HV120 1.2G, 2.4G, or A, but my box says none of the above. It just says HV120. I got what I'm supposed to. It does have two SMA connectors on the back of it, and one of them says 1.2/2.4G. So hopefully I got the right box, but no remote. So that's what's going on with me. Ron and Dick, windstorm? Yeah, we definitely had a windstorm here. I have debris out in the street in front of my house. It doesn't seem to be bothering me or any of the neighbors because it's still there. Plus, we might have a little more wind, I understand, so we'll wait until it blows again, and then we will work on clearing out the street. Ron, yeah, when Lily starts running, you know, you ought to take a look and see what's going on. So, glad to hear that nothing was damaged anyway, just a ladder falling over. Dick, yeah, that is great news. 27th, that's a wonderful Christmas present to enable you to do treatments at home. That's good. So, yeah, pinch yourself. That's where we're pulling for you. Hang in there. Back to you, Dave, in 7QO.
In 7QO, thanks for that. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM9ID. I'll pause momentarily in case somebody would like to check into the net. And again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Let's go to James, WU7N.
7 November in Northeast Bellevue. How's the audio coming through tonight? Thumbs up there from Dave, so I'm going to assume I can be heard. Yeah, I tried to do a simulcast, Wade, but I didn't catch what you were doing right away, so only the last part of what you were doing on the inside of the digital television signal came over the 2-meter repeater. I'll be faster on the trigger next time. Let's see. Yeah, windstorm this morning, that definitely was a waker-upper. I had huge, loud cracking noises. I thought some giant tree was going to come crashing down on my house. There was lots of cracking noises and 2 large limbs outside that I picked up today. But, wow, I think whatever was making the loud cracking noises were more than just those 2 limbs because, man, it was really loud. Definitely something to wake up over. Looks like we got about a 3-second delay on the www.qsl.net streaming channel. That would be the www.qsl.net /WW7ATS -streaming or /streaming.html. And I'm noticing there on the simulcast in British Amateur Television Club, that's about 30-second delay from what I can see over there on the other monitor. So, boy, these delays are really impressive. You know, to go all the way to Great Britain and then come back again in 30 seconds, I think is pretty good. Wow, 8 days and you'll have new plumbing. That's fantastic. I'm sure that'll continue your improvement on a positive track. And let's see, well, you know, I guess, you know, there was windstorm cleanup today, and we're trying to actually get damage repaired on somebody's roof from the last windstorm. There was a pretty intense meeting last night about that. And so that's all the excitement in my life. First world problems, it's great to have them. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
7N, thanks for that. let's go to Carlos, AD7NP in Clyde Hill.
All right. Wade is managing the control. Let me see if I can get on the air. Wait, I don't know if you're still on. It seems like your transmission is still on. Okay, no problem. We'll wait. So great to see you, everyone here. I think we've made good progress on the repeater reception problems, and so I'm looking forward for more folks to be able to see the image from the repeater. The station that was generating the interference was identified. I think Rob contacted, and now the station is no longer on the air, so a lot of what we have seen on the stream has been from Wade's transmission straight into the repeater uninterrupted, so those are really some good news. Wade and I have been doing some experiences of sending stereo audio over the DATV repeater, which seems to be working really well also. Of course, there's a lot of confusion as we try to use one system or the other, so we'll have to get to a more stable configuration, and we discussed a couple of options to make sure that we include everyone, both on the radio and folks that can listen straight on the stream. Jim, I'm really sorry about not getting the remote. It is quite a common remote. In fact, sometimes I have other remotes here from other set-top boxes that sometimes interfere. I can confirm that I think you have the right one, because my also says HV120, and it works just fine. I'm sure Wade or one of us can help on also producing an SD card that you'll need for setting up channels, and I think you'll be ready to go as long as you have the remote. I was also had some impact on the wind last night. I had a temporary antenna on my deck upstairs. Just a minute. It was just a UHF antenna on a tripod, and then as we were ready to go out this morning, my daughter points out that the window. I say, well, what is that upside down over the window? And that was the tripod and the antenna. So I had to go and just pull from the cable and get everything back. But I was basically trying out a different antenna setup, because the antenna I'm using right now is a cross polarized antenna, and I wanted to just use a straight antenna. Fortunately, today I got some new antennas from M Square, both for UHF and 1.2. And if there's a break in the rain, I'm not sure I will be as lucky as Richard to get 81 to go out there and set the antennas, but I'm looking for the good news, Richard. After the 27, we might have to have a special match just to celebrate, and I think again we're back on the food topic. Thai food seems like what we would need to go after the net now, after you inspired us. So back to net control, I can see that Wade is trying to get to a better solution there on the audio on the repeater, and we'll wait for that as he makes progress. Back to Dave, net control from 87NP.
WW7N
Thanks for that. This is Dave.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3.
Lake City. I got 43 degrees, and boy, we got an inch of rain last night. About 5:30 this morning, I woke up with a big thunderclap and pounding rain against the roof of the house, and so that was kind of an excitement at the time. And so for today, basically, I've been catching up with domestic chores around the house, and went to a trip to Costco to get some more food. I was very surprised at Costco today. Generally, I avoid Costco on the weekends and sometimes go on a Monday. But boy, I tell you, on a Wednesday, it was like wall-to-wall people at Costco and 145th or 200th in Aurora over here in Seattle. So that was kind of interesting. But the lines and the checkout lines seemed to move pretty good. So there wasn't a big backup all through the store. So that's what's happening there. And Ron, boy, got a little rain, and so that's pretty good. And the audio on high def is receiving it okay. And Richard, oh my gosh, getting his surgery to be able to do treatments at home, that's going to be a big relief and keeps you stabilized at home. You don't have to go running around the countryside to get a test or a treatment. And Wade, many thanks for getting the audio fixed up on the HD side of the digital amateur television. So this has been a great promise. And Jim, HD receiver without the controller. That's kind of a bad news, but I'm sure they will replace that for you. It comes in very handy, especially for their programming it. And James, able to participate in the storm discussion. Welcome to the storms. And this is Dave again, KD7CYM. So with that, I'm going to move it back over to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, Wade must not have the Cougar Mountain in the right position because all I'm seeing is color bars when I'm transmitting. So, let's see. I'll turn it off, I guess. What was I going to say? Oh, Richard, you were going to meet with a guy that had, the transplant for 9 years, and you guys were going to have Jollibee's chicken. So I was just wondering how that turned out. So somebody's got me switched in, I think, from Discord, but that's fine. What was I going to say? I lost my train. Oh, Jim, on the little receiver, there's 2 buttons on the front next to the right-hand side near below the green light. One's a plus and one's a minus, I think. And so we're using channel 6. So I don't know if anything else has to be done to the receiver or not to make it work, but I'm using 06. So anyway, you might try that. I don't know if you have the cables to hook it up or not. Somebody just sent me a text. It's probably my son. They were without power. They live on the Cape, the peninsula out here, the Cape Peninsula. And they lost power. They didn't get it back on till 4 o'clock. But he has a wood stove and he has a generator, so they're just fine. So back to net, KD7QKU.
7QKU, thanks for that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to Richard again, K7ITX.
7N disconnected.
On Sunday, I had a very nice, very nice early dinner. Jollibee's chickens, and sorry about that. Got interrupted by my phone. So, anyway, yeah, it went really good. It's extremely unusual for me to be able to sit and talk to someone who has been down the road ahead of me for, with pulmonary fibrosis, and then getting a lung transplant to conquer the disease. It's really fun to, just kind of share war stories, talk about nurses, just all the different things. The nurses are something else. But, I don't know, it's really interesting to see how the suburbs in Phoenix are set up. Or actually we were in Gilbert in a subdivision. The striking thing is just about all the homes are built on slab cement. They were more or less ranch style, short frontage but long lots, and the lots seem to be all divided up with, instead of, like we have over here in the Pacific Northwest, we have cedar fencing. They have block walls that are covered with stucco and painted nicely. So it's almost, to me, it's almost kind of like, I don't mean to be rude, but it is almost like a prison compound with walls instead of fencing. I'm used to fencing, not solid walls that you can't climb over. It's kind of weird, but that is very natural to them. They don't. In fact, when I talk about cedar fencing, they don't have a clue what I'm referring to. It's pretty funny. So, and stand by for a second. Again, I wanted to show you, my favorite toy that I've been playing with, my Oculus, and the content, a lot more content now. I particularly enjoyed a solo rock climber who's done El Capitan, Yosemite, Chamonix in France. The thing is, though, you're with him. You're side by side with him, and you're immersed. And the quality and clarity is so improved since I got the Oculus that just when you're sitting I felt like I was sitting at the counter with his pregnant wife and himself, and it was just, having coffee with them. It's that realistic. It's just, I can't say enough about it. I love it to death. So anyway, that's my toy. And then the other thing, I've been watching a recreation of Stephen, whatever his name is. He did The Stand. God darn it. Someone can remember to tell me. But anyway, The Stand has been recreated in a mini-series on Paramount Plus, and it's well done so far. At least it's something to watch with your spouse. If you need something to do together. Things like that work out at my household. So with that, K7ITS, back to net control.
ITX, let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
Well, I'm going to try to transmit my audio in two different places. Let's see if it's coming in. I don't hear anything on my output, but maybe it's coming in. But anyhow, can you guys hear me? All right. Well, I got the thumbs up. People can hear me. I'm not sure if people can hear me on the output on YouTube, but I'm trying two different things here, and I'm doing audio out on YouTube, I think, and should be coming out, but it doesn't look like it's going out to the digital out through the 1.2 gig because I don't hear anything coming back through my monitor headset. So maybe I'm only coming in on YouTube. So all right, well, I'll turn it back to Net. This is W7ITL. Very good discussions tonight. In the stucco wall comment by Richard, that's interesting. So I'll catch you guys back on the next round.
Thank you. With that, this is again the Western Washington Amateur Television Society at the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYS. Up next is N7QO, Jim.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Carlos, you mentioned they found the interfering station and contacted them. Thank you for doing that. Thank you, everyone who was a part of that. Presumably also Jim, Bob, Rob, maybe someone else as well. And wow, your antenna and tripod were blown over. Good thing it didn't break the window. Maybe the coax stopped it from doing so. That's good. And thank you for the information about the decoder box. I would hope that I have the right one as well. But I also received a CD with mine, and Wade said that the CD usually comes with a transmitter. Well, I definitely have the receiver, but I have a CD with it, but no remote. So, oh well, we'll see what happens here. Dave, Costco is crowded. Yeah, it's because the holiday is on us here, and I don't know why. Okay, I'm guilty myself, so I shouldn't say I don't know why, but people always wait until the last minute to do some things, and shopping is among those things which are over which they procrastinate. So, yeah, bad time of year to go shopping anywhere. Sorry. It'll probably be like that until after some people return gifts that they don't want and all that. So be prepared. Let's see, Ron. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I spoke with Wade today, and he said for our purposes we need to reprogram the box, go to channel 0 and do some sort of software change to make it receive our frequency. So we'll see what to do about that. I briefly looked at the instruction manual, and it suggested something similar. So we'll see what happens. And Dick, you're in Gilbert? Oh, that when I was there in the 70s, okay, I lived in downtown Mesa, but I drove through Gilbert all the time on my way to Williams Air Force Base there, right outside Gilbert. And at that time, it was almost literally a two-horse town. I know everything in that whole area grew up because I used to fly in and out of Falcon Field, and it was in the middle of nowhere in the 70s, but when I flew back there about a decade later, it was no longer in the middle of nowhere. I was wondering if I did a navigational faux pas because there were so many houses and everything around there. But yeah, the area has grown. Oh, they put in a freeway out there too. Do they call it 480? I don't know. Whatever it is, that didn't exist when I was there, so I know it's grown. But you're talking about properties that have a wall on one side. Yeah, they used to. I wasn't aware that they were in the Phoenix area at the time, but when I lived in Texas, they had those. They called them zero lot lines, and it was kind of nice for a couple of reasons. One, because like your bedroom would be next to the other person's backyard, essentially, so you'd get less noise, at least presumably at night. Okay, during the day you might have some children bouncing a ball off of the wall or something, but it seemed to work better in general. And besides that, it enables you to expose your entire body to the sun with some semblance of privacy. So that's some advantages to that. And in Texas, it was kind of good because a couple of neighborhoods that had houses like that, the homeowners association would actually do the yard maintenance in the front of the house. So that was kind of cool. Didn't need to worry too much about landscaping. And Wade, on this transmission, we heard you just fine on 2 meters. I can't see anything else, but we heard you fine on 2 meters this time. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade. James, in Northeast Bellevue.
K7ITX disconnected. Connected. K7ITX. Thing to have if you live out on the peninsula. But what's better is when it's really just integrated into part of your life. My last 5-day power outage, I kept getting these notices from Puget Sound Energy saying your power will be on in 1 day or something. So I kept reaching for a camping stove I have, propane, and then I would read the text messages. It's not worth pulling out because the power will be on in a day. They kept giving us these fake messages all the way up to day 3 or something, and then they stopped, which was good because it was 5 days. 5 days and 4 nights is what we were out. So if I'd known from the beginning, I probably would have had the camp stove in full service as soon as the lights went out, if I'd known it was going to be 5 days. There's more news you can use. CenturyLink, a really sharp technician was out to my house on Tuesday, really does know his business, and he couldn't solve the problem because he said the cable plant is so screwed up in Northeast Bellevue here that he really could not fix it, which was disturbing to hear. He said the color codes wasn't correct and the numbering on the posts and everything was all off, so he turned it over to maintenance, and I just responded to a text message from CenturyLink just now saying, yes, I would like to keep my appointment, and I'm kind of curious to know how this goes tomorrow. The other thing that's of interest is apparently CenturyLink hired all these contractors, and they pay them by the job, but they apparently can't make money doing residential repair, so they just closed the ticket. So that explains why I never saw anybody the first 3 or 4 times I called in my complaint. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Richard, your Oculus reminds me of some history of television I just read recently, because pretty soon, I think, a flat screen that we're all looking at right now within, 5 or 10 years will be, maybe passe, I don't know, because everyone will be wearing those Oculus virtual reality headsets. Here's a trivia question for the group to ponder as we go around here at 15 minutes to the hour. What was the first movie premiere that was televised? What was the movie? The first movie premiere televised. What was the movie? We'll go around and see if anybody can figure that one out. So let's see. Stephen King, The Stand. I've seen the first couple episodes of the original, and I think I've seen at least the first episode of the remake, but I'm wondering, did they do another remake, a third remake? Stephen King is the name I think you're thinking of, Richard. The Stand has been done, I think in the 80s maybe, and then it was done again more recently, but maybe there's a third time too as well. And I was curious to know, that was just a flat screen, that wasn't on Oculus, I'm assuming. Anyway, sunbathing in, well, you've got big high walls around you. Well, I guess that's why everyone's buying the $500 drones from Costco, right? I was kind of amazed at the quality of the picture when a neighbor of mine had one and was playing with it, and he had it out there 10, 15 feet in front of us looking at us, and then I was looking down at the screen, and it was really a very high-quality picture. And apparently the little card that carries on board even gets more resolution and collects data that way, too. So I think I need one of those to check on my gutters every year. So with that, this is James, WW7ATS Whiskey Uniform, 7 November in Northeast Bellevue. Let's turn it back to Dave on net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
7N, thanks for that. Well, let's pick up Carlos in Clyde Hill, 87 NP. I think I'm out on the right frequency this time. I had reacted to Jim saying that the remote didn't work, and I tried on a different remote by mistake, and then it changed my transmitter frequency. But so this time I'm just transmitting straight into the repeater, and seems to be working fine. So Richard, on the Oculus experience, that's a pretty good one. I have a setup just like that, and there are some experiences that can integrate kind of just running Windows on that. So at some point, maybe we can get you on the net on Discord, also using that device, and we'll just have your avatar there. That should be fun. Jim had an interesting observation on why the walls are so high, but then again, with all these drones that are being reported all over the country, I wonder if this is to fight this edge, such high walls. It's like I would be careful about that, especially as James, you're so right. I mean, those drones have 4K resolution at a very long distance, and I don't know, these flying things are quite impressive. On the on the CenturyLink, James, I hope you have different providers available, because I don't know, that saga might keep going for a while, and I do know the answer because I went to the internet. So I will not give you the answer on the movie, but that was a good one. I didn't know about that. And on the power outage, because this is, I think we're coming to the end of the first year on this new place, and we have a nice battery system that keeps everything running, and we had our cooktop as both electric and gas. Now it turns out that they connected everything on the wrong switch panel, and so although we had gas, we weren't able to turn it on to get the gas going because it was on the wrong panel, so we had to revise that setup. So it's good to have some of this power outage to go and validate all the different things that are not running correct. Let me just give a minute here. gets us going into the right level of what we wanted to see on our DATV signals. And so looking forward to see Dave and everyone else also here on the transmitting side. And James, again, offer still up. As soon as you want to set up that stick or you want to try anything else, we have many receiving solutions available from the portfolio of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Invention Department. So just let us know. That's right, that's right. All right, this is probably my last one as we run to the top of the hour. Back to you, Dave, from 87MT, both here on 2 meters and on the 83 meters. Back to you. 87MP, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. It's been a very interesting net. Food was predominant with everybody, and the resolution for audio being carried over the HD to light up this go-round for this net has been working quite successful. And setting up a receiver, you do need an SD card. That's everything's programmed onto the SD card and transferred over to the receiver. And so you need to get one of those or have one available at the time you get together with a way to program your receiver on that. So I'm sure Jim will be pretty soon with us with being able to see what's going on with HD. And this is Dave again in beautiful Lake City. So I'm going to send it back up to Ron, 87QKU.
Well, last time I guess my camera timed out again. So I checked it and it said the SD card run out of space. So anyway, I'll have to see if I can delete the card and get the stuff off of it. It had quite a bit of stuff on it. So I don't have too much more to say anyway. I have more camera trouble, darn it. The camera works good, but it's just hard to keep it running. So anyway, so I guess I'll say 73s and turn it back to Dave, KD7QKU.
Thanks for that. And we'll get another ID here. This is Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the wave machine. Well, moving down the list, back to Arizona, the one and only Richard, K7ITX.
Yeah, well, kudos to both Ron and Carlos for being, and Wade for that matter, for those three being able to check in video HD. That's, over the air. Wade, your audio on YouTube was like unbelievably nice. I mean, it was concert type audio. I mean, it was no interference whatsoever. So you've got something, coming up. I can tell that's just going to blow our socks off, and everyone else, and Carlos for that matter. Your picture, as usual, is coming over. You talk about not having a good line of sight or a shot at the repeater like Ron does, but boy, oh boy, it's good quality. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about is you guys took care of that interference. That was kind of a pain in the you-know-what, and it's gone now. Good job. That's I can't say enough about that. That is really sweet. No more, jerky transmissions that we were receiving and putting out. It always looked good, but then the interference would, put a hole or a stranglehold on us. And you guys figured it out. Good for you. I can't say enough about that. So anyway, that's it. That's it for me anyway. I've still got some time to hear some other reports. Oh yeah, and thanks a lot, Stephen King, the Stand, and so if they're talking about Instagram, it's got to be a pretty current. Because the first depiction of the Stand is, I don't know, it seemed like it was in the early 80s or something like that. And then if there was a second one, I'm not sure about it. But the one I'm watching, the Stand is on Paramount Plus. It's broken into segments, and I don't know, it's just kind of my style. Maybe you don't know it's obvious, but it is science fiction, and but throw in the Bible too, but one thing hasn't changed. There is that one guy that spells everything M-O-O-N. So that is still there. All right, this is K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go on to Tacoma to W7ATL.
This is W7ATL, and I'm
going to try to transmit
my
my audio simulcast here. There's just a little bit I have to do to get it to work. So let's see. There we go. Oh no, clicked too many times. All right. Well, now I am simulcasting my audio 1 through 2 meter, and then again through DVB-S or T, and over the internet. So, yeah, it's been a good net, and it's just amazing that we're able to solve the interference. I'll put a shout out there for Carlos for identifying that, and I will also call out Rob for helping negotiate that conversation with the amateur that was causing the interference. I won't name names because we got it solved, and I'm glad if you're listening. Let's work together, and we can get your station working better, so you can do your hobby as well. All right, that's it for this round, and I think we're at the top of the hour. So I'm going to say 73, and I'll turn it back to our net control, Dave, W7ITL, back to net.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Your final. Let's go to Jim, N7QO.
QO, thank you, Dave. Well, we were talking about drones. Jim, I have no clue about the movie. As for drones, man, I don't know. If we fly a drone over someone else's home, does that constitute being a peeping Tom? I would think so, but man, I don't know. Things change fast in this country, and on this planet, I guess. Anyway, thank you all for participating. Catch you all next net. Good night. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. And we bring the net to a close. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting Running issues WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions during our nets. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, saying good evening at 9 o'clock.
ITX disconnected.